This is the Eye Seduction Channel.
Do you remember any of the hangouts around here back in the day? Nice restaurants, clubs, pubs?
Oh, yeah, this was a bustling neighborhood. Of course, there was Ratner's right next door, and that was 24-hour Jewish restaurant, and we always ended up there at 4 or 5 in the morning for breakfast after the shows on Saturday morning and Sunday morning. In fact, we kept them in business a lot, and these old waiters, of course, hated all the hippies that would show up there, but were very glad for the food that we ordered. And that was, and Bill Graham ordered a lot of the backstage catering. He'd get stuff from Ratner's, and then from the M Shack deli, which was just down the street over there. It's gone now. And there was the first macrobiotic and vegan restaurant was over there, and the first Indian restaurant was on 6th Street, 5th Street, 6th Street. Had all these new restaurants. This was the neighborhood was coming up. I lived around the corner. I lived at 87th Street. The film school was right here. It was a student neighborhood, and it was a Ukrainian neighborhood, which it still is. So there was Sorley's, McSorley's bar down. That was there. That's been there. It's still there. The theater up the street was there, and the one I forget the name, it's up at 12th Street. It's been turned into a movie theater now, but that's where the original production of Hair was, and I went, I saw the original production of Hair. We all did.
Wow.
It was there was over there was an Italian fruit and vegetable stand. Years later, all of that stuff was taken over by Koreans, which we now know. It's all ethnic stuff that's changed over the years in New York City. But this was always an interesting neighborhood. The really fun place was the B&H Dairy Luncheonette, which was up the block. We used to always have lunch there. You could get a huge bowl of mushroom barley soup with 2 big slabs of challah bread with butter for 30 cents. They're still there, and they still have it, and I think it's like $8 now.
Wow.
Well, back then, yeah, the Village Voice was a successful newspaper that you had to buy every week. Now it's a freebie, but they practically went out of business, and the New York Times these days costs $2 to buy. I forget how much. What did the Village Voice cost back then? 25 cents, maybe, something like that.
It's a little less than mushroom barley soup.
Yeah.
Well, the Fillmore is still. The name Fillmore is still alive and kicking. There's still a venue in New York City, in Manhattan, that is called the Fillmore, and they are presenting pictures of yours.
Well, when the Bill Graham Presents organization eventually in the late 90s was sold to FX, which was one of the big conglomerate entertainment popular music conglomerates, which in its turn, after a few years, was gobbled up by Clear Channel. And Clear Channel also owned Live Nation and have continued in the concert promotion business, and they saw the value of the Fillmore name as a brand for theater, music promotion and presentation, and they've renovated an old theater in Denver and have opened that as the Denver Fillmore, and I believe they have one in Orlando, Florida, and in Boston, and they eventually decided that it was a smart thing to bring the Fillmore name back to New York City, and I guess they bought the Irving Plaza venue and refurbished it somewhat and renamed it the Fillmore New York at Irving Plaza. It's interesting because the venue is like the original West Coast venue as an open space ballroom kind of a space club with only 600 people, I think is the limit, which was pretty much what it was out in California too. as opposed to the Fillmore East, which was a real theater with 2,632 seats. But that's the story as I know it about how the Irving Plaza was redubbed the Fillmore New York Irving Plaza 2 years ago. And when they pulled that together, they did feel an obligation to the past, and they hired James Olness, who was one of the two archivists at Bill Graham Presents, to pull together a little gallery space with photographs about the original Fillmore East venue, and they bought a number of my pictures, which are on permanent display in the lobby of the Fillmore New York at Irving Plaza. I'm not sure, I haven't been there, I was there for the opening, but I haven't been there recently, and I can't remember whether we had some little, little information tags with the pictures explaining historically what they were and what you're looking at. I can't remember that part. I think there might be.